So I noticed in the local newspaper that there's some scumbag called Callum, also known as Cal, going around and breaking into people's houses. He's been doing it for months. The police have never caught him. The weirdest thing is he breaks into people's houses, he steals all their shit, obviously for drug money. And then he basically destroys their white goods by, doing things like throwing bricks in washing machines. And then he turns them on and, helps himself and then just fucks off, leaving damage everywhere. It's really weird. But anyway, apparently it's all caught up with him. His druggy life has caught up with him, and he's been found dead in an alley with a drug overdose. And it's never nice hearing of someone's death. But on the bright side, washing machines live longer with Cal gone.
Oh. God.
Yeah. My eyes watered at that myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
That was the joke equivalent of your princess is in a different castle.
Yeah.
The other day I went on Dragon's Den.
Go on.
I took my grandfather's shotgun, and Peter Jones looked at me and he's like trying to figure me out, and he said, "So, what's the deal here?" And I said, "Well, it's pretty simple. Put the fucking money in the fucking bag."
Well, funny you mentioned about Dragon's Den because, I saw the guy who invented the polo. I wish I had that because I would have made a mint. Anyway, moving on. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Black Dog, number 190. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
I'm Elton.
And this week we'll be seeing how everyone's week's been. We will see if there's any feedback for last week's episode, which was Tammy and the T-Rex, so I'm expecting the answer's no. And and then we'll be moving on to this week's movie, which was the mystery pick by Jim. Which was, Jim?
After Midnight.
After Midnight. Not After Eights, because again, that would have been a mint. Anyway, so we'll get to that. We'll get to that soon enough. This is a terrible joke.
Has anyone got Carol's phone number that we can just and get her to attack him?
No.
Is everything all right at home, Lee?
No, it's not. It's not.
Is it?
No,
Yes?
no. I need help. I need support. Come on, Lee. Sorry, that's another one. Come on.
Good Lord.
Come on.
Has the repeat prescription service failed you this week? Is that what it is?
Yes, it is,
Yep.
because I'm suffering from kleptomania, and sometimes when it gets really bad, I take something for it.
Oh.
Yes! You will not defeat me. I have them all. I've got them all. I will be releasing a book soon, self-published on Amazon. Anyway, right, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to really stop. So we're going to start and see how everyone's week's been. Jim seems to be whimpering a little bit, but we'll start with him. We'll see how it goes. Jim, how's your week been, sir? How you been?
Fairly quiet, really, for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I'm a bit choked up as well. But I did see that I'm onto my second consultant now.
Oh, right, yeah.
Who was the chap who's going to be handling the next stage of my treatment, which is chemo on the right lung to sort that out.
Right.
So basically the deal is that from the 2/3 of lung they removed, the good news is there was no cancer around the edges.
Good.
Which
Good.
means
That's excellent news.
Yep, so it hadn't spread any further, but I'm still having a course of chemo just to zap any kind of microscopic bits that might have slipped through the net, various scans and whatnot. So, but that'll start the 9th of February, which will be there's all this arcane stuff with chemo, but basically it'll be 8 trips over probably 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
And as she's going for zapping little bits, it is, quote, one of the more tolerable treatments.
Okay.
But you will get, nausea, fatigue, and a chance of hair loss, fitted as standard, as it comes with all chemo.
Nice.
So I've got that to look forward to. But also it's kind of, there's some results to come back as well. And if the cancer had a certain mutation, I will also need immunotherapy, which is a therapy to boost your immune system.
Jesus.
And that takes 2 years.
Wow.
But that's 1 month. That's one visit a month, though, so that's not too bad.
Not too bad, but still.
Yeah. But if that goes well and the chemo goes well, then I move on to round 3, which is radiotherapy for the other lung. So,
holy Christ!
I'm kind of adjusting to kind of the idea. I'm going to be living life in second gear for a while.
Yeah.
And sort of trying to decide how I want to play that. Yeah, basically.
Well, look after yourself. That's the main thing, isn't it? And also ask if there's a sort of like a reward scheme, like a little for the hospital, because you're going to be going in and out quite a bit. Yep.
It's all. I know my way around these hospitals very well now. If people stop and are lost, I can give them directions with 95% accuracy now.
Right.
So that's good.
It's when people start thinking you're a doctor because they see you so often. That's the worry. But overall, the prognosis is good, yeah?
Well, that's it. It all sounds an awful lot, but it's kind of, well, as the doctor said, he said, the thing is, you have fatigue, but you got to look at it. Is it really that terrible? You have to lie on the sofa and have a nap.
Well, when put that way...
Well, no, not really, is it? If you give me a green card to loaf around, which is, for many of us, the holy grail we've always been looking for.
I was going to say,
you can legitimately do this.
Wow.
So,
Nice.
So I'm very much taking that view.
Yeah, that would definitely be my view. Definitely. How do I apply for this, and how and how long can I keep it dragged out for, even after everything's been cured?
Well, this is, now I'm in the cancer club. I get free prescriptions for 5 years. No questions asked. Bam, 5 years exemption certificate.
Wow. So if I send you a list of little blue pill things that I want, you could sort me out. Save me having to go to that dodgy Chinese website that keeps sending me the emails.
But yes, that's quite good considering I'm on 6 different pills, and that's not including my asthma inhalers.
Oh shit!
With prescription, that's £60 a month.
Bloody hellfire!
So yeah, but that won't be forever though.
No.
How is the lung capacity feeling at the moment?
It's slowly getting better, but it is kind of. I can do one sort of hour-long walk a day with the dog. 2's a bit too much, and I really, really aches afterward. I feel it I pay for it the next day. Like if you over-exercise, it's that similar deal. But and the cold, just the cold weather, the damp weather don't do me any favors at all. So if it's too cold, I just don't go out.
Yeah,
because it starts to breathless lock. It's like really quick.
I mean, to be quite honest, you're doing quite well, because 1 hour just going down the shops does me in. So, you're doing quite well.
Well, so from the physio book, it's like, I should be doing 25-minute walk every day. So I'm doing above and beyond. I saw my doctor this week and I was asking about reducing the painkillers. And she's like, well, really? Are you sure? It's not that long. Like, isn't it? Oh, that's all right then.
Yeah, you don't have to, don't.
Exactly. So that's all right. So. But you just get on with it, really. I mean, I don't have as much energy as I did before, and I'm not doing as awful too much. But as I say, it's not a massive hardship to just take it easy for a while, to be honest, and watch far too many old episodes of Red Letter Media, because I've got the time to watch an hour and a half show where they do a black spine junker round.
Oh God, those are brilliant. Those are so good. Though everyone needs to be fearful now, because now that I've become the harbinger of doom for the picks, You know, because I'm bringing it back. I don't care what anyone says. The shit cover goggles is coming back with me. You know, those guys are giving me too many really good but bad ideas.
Oh,
That's all I'm saying.
All I say, you don't know you're born until you've seen some of the things that they've got being said.
Holy fuck, no! until you've seen American Sasquatch. I mean, you really suburban Sasquatch. That's it. Yeah. Until you've seen suburban Sasquatch, we don't know we've lived. When we reach that's when you know the podcast is over. That's all I'm saying. Cool. Anything else?
Yeah, that's about it, really. I was just not doing it. I'm getting to do a few things more. So actually, now I've got sort of time on my hands, as it were. I'm going to finish off my synth briefcase that I did start a long time ago. Then life got very hectic.
There you go.
And I'm going to actually finally sort out and wire it all together.
Nice.
And maybe add some lights.
Why not?
Those are the needless things I don't need. But you get. In fact, I've got another little kit form synthesizer coming in the post.
Nice.
Very cheap. You have to solder it together. So it's kind of expect a story about me burning down the house in about 2 weeks.
Nice. Yeah.
Cool. I'll leave you on that tempting and tantalising note of future rubbish.
Yeah, on that juicy dangler. Right, okie dokie. And right, speaking of juicy danglers, Elton, how are you?
Thank you. I'm good. I haven't been doing much. I've been doing drawing.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is It's,
are we off to Copic Corner again?
No, I won't be doing that. No, but enjoying using them definitely. That's a nice thing. But it's just nice to. I found my little chill out medium again, and sometimes I disappear from it for a couple of years. I tend to bounce between doing the drawing, playing the guitar, and fiddling and noodling with stuff like that, and then throw myself into like a million podcasts.
Yeah,
and it goes round in it's cyclical. I don't know posh words, so yeah.
Neither do I, as you should have guessed by now. I just got a
we
word
heard
of the
that
day.
In the green room, yes.
I've got word of the day on the calendar. That's it, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on, carry on.
But yeah, it's I'm just really enjoying doing that. If anyone is interested in silly little Formula One drawings, then it's on Instagram on badlydrawn.f1.
Nice.
And if you're not an F1 fan, you won't get the references.
I don't think you need to be. I mean, no. I just the look on the pictures, the goofy looks on the expressions on the faces, they're good enough as they are. But actually, it turns out, if you know some of the people you're referencing, that's even funnier.
See, some of them I don't know them. I've just drawn out all of the 1970s grid, and I'd say 60, maybe 70% of them I hadn't even heard of them. And
you call yourself a fan?
I know, yes. So I was
from the 70s. I mean, it's not the repeat Formula One. I mean, it's not like music, is it? Where it's kind of, and tonight we're going to replay the 1972 semi-final of Monaco in autumn. Driving was Jack McFast. He was up against Sterling Moss and Moss Bros and
Timothy Burtons and Dorothy Perkins.
Well, funny you should mention that there is Piers Courage related. Related to the drinks.
Piers Courage.
Yes.
Piers Courage.
What a load of old bollocks. That's a made-up name.
No,
that is a made-up name.
It is.
Because you're now connected to, the Courage Beers, and you're like a wealthy, like an aristocrat. I do in racing team. That rings bells for me.
That sounds like bollocks to me. I mean that sounds no more absurd than Jim's Jack McFast. I mean that's really.
You wait until I delve into the 2010s. We'll have to do Scott Speed.
Scott Speed.
Yes, and he's an American. It gets better.
God.
Backup driver, cheeky line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, check. Yeah, then there's the European.
Straw.
Yeah, there's the European Czech flag. Yeah. Then,
Careful. Let's stop it there.
yeah.
That was the one the German driver, wasn't it? Pit stop.
Pit stop.
And the Austrian tyre change.
then there's the Japanese racers racing line.
Anyway,
I mean, I'm sure they all exist. I'm sure they're all there. They all got big bushy moustaches.
Yeah.
And...
Well, you've done all the real ones. You can do all the ones we know about that you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, racing line.
Just writing all these names down.
Yeah, actually, you should do that and see if anyone actually picks you up on it. Put it up on the fucking on the Formula One podcast page and just Grand Prix podcast page and just see if anyone goes, hold on, that isn't a real racer.
No, half the people on Instagram are all from like 2020, and they've only just found the sport.
Yeah,
because of bloody Netflix.
Yeah,
have they?
Yeah.
Raymond Warp Drive. I mean, you can do it all.
You can turn back that up and coming driver, Car on Wheels. Him. That's actually a name of somebody I knew at school. Right, I knew somebody called Car on Wheels.
Karen Wheels.
No, Caron. His first name was Caron. His last name was
Caron.
Wheels.
What was he, like the fucking Lord of the Underworld or something?
No,
taking people on the River Styx.
He was just a normal
He had a
dude.
battle axe and a
That's all
shield.
No, nice fella. But yeah, Car on Wheels. We used to call him Wheelie.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you could do a one called Wheelie Bin, just yeah. There you go. And then there's slick tires, and yeah,
Right.
dry conditions.
I'm backing away from this now.
Come
We're
on,
gonna go very green room very soon.
It is. We're about to go. We're about to go off the air in a big way. Yeah, we'll stop there then. Have you, anything else, sir? Anything else been going on?
Not really, no.
Right.
It's been far too cold to be doing anything. I haven't been drilling my fingers or anything like that. So,
yeah,
I haven't been doing anything like that. I did catch the second episode of The Last of Us, though.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. or as I said, bastards! Anyway, don't worry. I'm saying nothing more because I know Jim hasn't seen the second episode. So we shall say nothing. Say nothing about the second episode.
Nope.
No. Anyway.
So that's it, yes.
So that's it. Okay, Last of Us as well. Okay, well then in which case we move on to the next juicy dangler. Because why not?
Yeah, why not?
Well, it's better than the drain drip. I mean, let's be honest.
Indeed.
How are you, Dal? How's it going, mate?
How am I? Well, let's see. I'm all right, I suppose. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Okay. That's your weekly. No.
Well,
No. I haven't done very much this week, but I have taken in some TV, just a bit. This week, me and Ree were like trying to find something to watch, and we took a chance on a TV show that you might have heard of called Slow Horses.
Oh, right.
Oh, yes, it's in my queue.
Yeah,
is that the one with Gary Oldman?
Gary Oldman, and he said that if once this finishes, he's retiring after this. That's what he's said. Yeah, really, really good show. I can see why people really like it. It's all about MI5, or should I say the spy service. And you do have your kind of the superheroes there, the sort of like really sort of like top agents and stuff like this. And then you have you have the other department, which are known as the slow horses, who are all the, as Gary Oldman puts it, his character, all the fuck ups and losers. You're all fucking losers, the lot of you. That's what he calls his own team. Yeah,
Right.
You're still fucking losers. And I'm not joking. His character is just, he's a piece of work. It really is. He's scruffy beyond belief.
Yeah.
He's seen some things, shall we say, and he just farts and everything. He's just like, oh, don't go in there. He's like,
give it 5 minutes.
That's exactly it. Yeah, you might want to give it 5 minutes. He comes up with stuff like this. He's the head of this department, who are just basically all the people that have done something wrong, and they've just about been saved from being fired from MI5. And so they go to this place. And the show starts off with particular, shall we say, Simon Pegg or F. Wet, this bloke, right? Because he keeps, it's like one of those sort of like bad, sort of like face fake jobs where it keeps fading. You see the person that's sort of like talking, and then they kind of do the fake up on the face to make him look like another person.
Oh, right.
His face does that. And he just like, that's Simon Pegg. It's not Simon Pegg. That's Simon Pegg. It's like a lenticular picture, right? This is it. It's just you turn his head a certain way. It's like, fuck me, that's Simon Pegg. Yeah. No, it's not. It's this actor.
Right.
So basically what happens is the character in question, River, his name is, he fucks up big time on this. What you find it is actually a training set up in an airport. And because of how badly he supposedly fucks up, they send him to the slow horses.
Right.
And it's about him not being able to just sit in this department and do the sort of like the real shit work that Gary Oldman keeps giving him. So he's like, do you know why I'll give you this stuff? Not because you're good at your job, it's because I don't fucking like you. He's like pulling out people's bins and having to go through bits of rubbish, and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And Gary Oldman's character's not big on people not doing what he tells them to do. So it's like, just get on with your fucking work.
Yeah,
the lot of you, just go back to your desk, get on with your work. What are you doing?
Right.
So it's just a really good laugh. The show, it's you know, there are lots of comedic bits in it. It's more of a drama than anything else. But we sat and we just burned through the first 6 episodes, sort of like in, was it 2 nights we did it?
Right.
They're 45 minutes pop each episode. But I've got to say, I think Gary Oldman's probably one of my favourite actors. I've never seen him play the same role type twice in a row. As far as I'm concerned, everything I've seen him in, he's been different in it, right? It's just like, you think of all the other actors that have made it big that don't do that. People like George Clooney and Matt fucking Damon and
George Clooney's bigger selling coffee machines now, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, he actually admits that he just plays himself. He's actually come out and said that. All I do is play me.
Well,
that's it. Fair. I don't play anyone else. And who's that other bloke?
Ryan Reynolds.
No, it's Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is going that way now. That's it. He's just playing Ryan Reynolds, you know.
Well, some would say he's never stopped doing that, but yeah.
Probably not, no. But, Gary Oldman is just... I really appreciate how, you know, his skill as an actor. Because he's totally different in this. He's just such a cheeky twat in this to people. And but you can see that he's kind of, as I say, he's seen things in his career. He's been tortured in like Chechen prisons and stuff like this, and he's come out the other side okay.
Yeah,
and he's got all the really sort of like the really funny little fucking put downs for people throughout all of this, you know. So I would heartily recommend having a watch of Slow Horses. The first season's only 6 episodes. We're about to embark on season 2 and have a watch of that.
All right.
So, it's got Kristen Scott Thomas in this as well.
Okay.
playing the head of the smart division. You know, where all the good agents are.
Mm.
The place where it's you see how the guy River, the one who's come from that department, who's now been downgraded because of the thing that he did, he has to go back, right, and take this laptop with him to this to fucking MI5, and he even has to wait for a fucking escort to take him through the building. They don't even let him go in by himself. They have this humiliation of making him wait on a seat outside the fucking front doors. Like, no, you go sit over there.
Yeah.
Then you go have your pass. You need a visitor pass. It's
you can't be trusted.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, no, you're not part of us anymore. You're not this thing.
Yeah.
But there's this one greasy little agent who you're watching and you're thinking, no, it wasn't him that made the mistake. It was you, wasn't it? And he's still in that division. So he's still in the sort of like, you know, the one with all the good agents, and it's just that interaction between him and River and the sort of pent up sort of aggression he has towards the smarmy guy, because he just does not like him. And it's interactions like that, little playoffs against one another that are just really, really good. It's just a really well written show.
Right.
So yeah, check it out.
And that's on Apple, isn't it?
It is on Apple. Yeah, I honestly thought it was on the BBC.
No,
but no, it is Apple, because we've got a 3-month free Apple Pass.
It's mad, isn't it? Apple seems to have come out of nowhere and seems to have got all these kind of nice little prestige shows like Severance and this and
it's none of them are
For All Mankind and all that kind of thing. Yeah,
none of them have that sort of same taint that Netflix shows have. Because
what,
as
you mean lasting one season and they're dead?
Exactly, but it's that there's something, I don't know, is it the lighting that they're filmed in or the quality of the film that they use or something? But it's like it says Netflix. Yep. Look at the camera angles, Netflix. Yeah, there's none of that. They've got some great shows on there, especially like that. Was it Raised by Wolves as well? Love that show. I don't know if anybody's watched it here, but
watched the first season. Didn't get to the second because it got cancelled, and I just thought I'm not going to follow that up.
Yeah, same here.
Oh right, okay. Well, I still want to see it. Anyway, it's a shame that got cancelled, because I love those sort of. Every once in a while, you get a hard sci-fi show that's done well, where they've just got science in it. They've just got, like, you know, technology that they just don't have to explain. You just kind of accept it. And it's especially true with the mother and the father in that show. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, the scary mother figure when she gets a freak on.
Yeah.
Oh my good Lord, yes. But anyway, that's another discussion for another time.
Yeah.
So the other thing is kind of in conjunction with what Elton said. The Last of Us. I'm still very much enjoying this show. Now, what I did was I started playing the game again. But I had an idea. I thought to myself, do you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the game again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it up until it gets to the point that it gets to in the show for every episode.
Yes.
So I'm just gradually going through the game.
You're not spoiling it for yourself.
Yeah, well, it's just to see the difference between the two. And I've got to say, as much as I know it can be really annoying when they make certain changes to certain shows that you like, based on, like, you know, the source material and that, what have you. But this show just knows how to adjust those scenes so that the effect is like even more of an impact.
Yes.
On you.
Yes.
This week's episode is, shall we say, no different.
Yes.
From that.
Yes.
And it's really cool seeing how they've gone, well, that bit's not really that important, so we're just going to take a chunk out of this bit, but we're going to take this bit that was really interesting in the game, and we're going to play with it. We're going to just use this.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of bleeds into my week because I haven't really got anything going on my week, but I think and again, I'm very, very aware that Jim hasn't seen this episode, so I'm going to say...
I'm trying not to say anything at all.
I think the one thing I've noticed is that the changes that they make are logical changes.
They are very logical
and
changes.
narratively they fit. And it's that same sea change. This is the best way I can put it, actually. It's the same sea change as when, and this is pretty sad, really, but it's that kind of, that first few Marvel films where the fans of the thing will go, there's something I recognise. But people who've never seen it before go, there's something really cool, and the changes that happen are so minor that the general flavour of the whole thing and the feel of the whole thing is right. So that fans of a superhero from Marvel will turn around and go, this is exactly what I'm talking about here when I read those comics. Yeah. And then there's people who've never read it or seen it before going, well, this makes perfect sense why this thing happens here and this happens this way.
Yeah.
Whereas, where some game adaptations do one of two things. They either adhere to certain things absolutely. I'm looking at you, Uncharted, with your fucking falling out the back of the plane thing. And, it's an interesting sequence, but it's an interesting sequence only if you're playing it. Not if you're watching it. It's a boring fucking sequence. So, there's things like that. Or you go the other way where someone just takes the costume and a name and just goes off and fucking does their own thing. So, what they've done is they've kind of done a streamlining and then made changes purely for the medium it's in. You don't want to sit there and watch Joel go round for 6.5 hours looking for a fucking key code to a safe to find a special trinket. No. Because that's got nothing to do with anything in a TV narrative. So of course you wouldn't see that. So certain things being cut out or adjusted seem to be happening for the right reasons rather than just, we've got to have absolute fidelity, or we've got to make a completely different story and just use the IP's name and brand recognition.
Yeah, I like the way they've thrown certain lines in there as well. It's like, I'm watching the episode and I did actually fail miserably to try and stick to the whole thing of going up to where the episode's in. I've just continued playing it. I just can't stop. And it's just little things that Ellie that Ellie says. You can you hear them being used in the show as well. So things like that, tiny little things.
But this, it's the same thing as I go back to member berries. I know people roll their eyes when I use that phrase, but the fact is, you can have nostalgia and name recognition and things that you recognise, but if they're in service of the story, that's great. If they're just there so that people can point it and go, I saw that thing and I clapped.
Yeah.
Then that's fucking pointless. That's got no reason to be there other than they've got nothing else to fill the time.
Oh, no.
Whereas this seems to be, see that scene that you saw in the game? That's still there. We've tweaked it slightly. The results are the same. The effect is the same. But we've just tweaked it to make a bit more sense in the context of the rest of the show and what's happened up until that point. And, rather than because game says that something must happen here, it happens. It's and that's kind of the thing I really appreciate right now.
Yeah, I'm loving when they get to certain areas and you recognise. You automatically recognise the area they're standing in. I don't have to say a word. And it's just the camera pulls back and you're like, oh, I know this thing. I've been here before. And it doesn't get in the way of enjoying that show for people who've never seen it. They're not sitting there going, what's so special about this building, or what's so special about that car laying on its side with a blue sticker on its bumper. It's like that. It's not overbearing. It's just... It's a throwaway thing.
Well, again, it's there if you recognise it. If you don't, it's not a problem.
Doesn't matter.
And that's the way it should be done. Easter eggs for the people who are looking for them, and narrative cohesion for the people who want to just watch a fucking TV show that's actually any good and makes sense.
Yep.
Something that a lot of people forget.
Indeed. But there
Anyway,
you go.
Sorry, carry on.
No, it's it's that basically. That's it for me. Slow Horses and The Last of Us.
Yeah. Well, I suppose really for my week's not much better than anyone else's. I watched Last of Us. You've just heard my thoughts on that. I think it's just grade A television. I think it's great. And then I noticed that not only is the guy who made the game or wrote the game or produced the game the main guy running it, but also the person who did Chernobyl. Has anyone seen Chernobyl?
No, I've never got around to watching Chernobyl.
Oh, good Lord. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a great show. I say great in so far as it's well made and tense and interesting. But fuck me, you don't. It's not a show you want to watch to cheer you up and merry you along your way. Let's put it that way.
No, it's great cast. Looks amazing. Tells a story.
And kind of that's if you're watching Last of Us, then you know where you are with it really, in terms of tone, which I think helps. So I haven't really done a lot in terms of watching. I did one thing of any note, and it was only because the only reason it's any note is because I wasted someone's time in an enormous way, which tells me that I'm old. Because back when my parents were sort of out and about and sort of enjoying their retirement for that short couple of years before my dad had his heart attack, they used to do a thing called Mr. and Mrs. Time Waster, which is essentially they would wander into a shop fully intent on doing something, I don't know, like buying a telly or buying something, and they would just keep some poor sod talking for about an hour. And some poor shop assistant who unfortunately fell into their honey trap of thinking, oh look, there's two old people, I can sell them £1,000 telly. And unfortunately that was the trap. Now, this week I've had to go and buy a carpet for the house, for the living room, because basically, to cut a long story short, the carpet in this living room has been here since well before we even moved in, and we moved in this house like 17 years ago. So this carpet is getting close to basically looking like a Hessian mat. So we went to Carpet-Rite, and you couldn't find two more less interested people in carpets than me and Carol, right? Just got no fucking interest in it whatsoever. So we go round there, and this guy comes running up to us, and the Mr. and Mrs. Time Waster trap is set, and he comes over
to go.
Exactly. He comes over and he goes, "Are you looking for a carpet?" And we're like, "Yes." And he goes, "You got anything in mind?" "No, we just want a carpet." And he goes, "Well, what about these?" And he brings over a whole bunch of samples. And he's saying, stick your fingers in them and give them a good scrunch. And it's like, yeah, exactly. Easy. I'm not
things you can say in a carpet shop and a bedroom.
Yeah. Stick your fingers and scrunch this rug. Anyway, and so we're standing there, and then Carol's looking at me and going, "It's just a carpet." And the guy's going, "Oh, do you want sort of hard wearing? Do you want it to be sort of like, luxurious?" And we're like, "Just a carpet."
Yeah.
We don't have a fucking clue. And he goes, Okay, I'll tell you what, let's put it this way. What colour are you after? And I sort of gave him a picture of our living room, and I just said, anything other than this shit coral. And he goes, right, okay, well, is it going in the living room? And I'm like, yes. He goes, okay, cool. So you don't really want dirt to show up on it, do you? And it's like, no. So he's going, well, maybe sort of a fleckle. And he's going on about all these different colours. And he's bringing out all these colour samples. And he's going on. He's like brought out the Encyclopedia Britannica of fucking carpet samples. And we're sitting there going, dunno. And he goes, what about sort of beige or magnolia or cream or sort of thing? And it's like, I can't tell the difference. And he's going, well, this one's called stone, and this one's called mink, and this one's called nude, and this one's called... it's just like, no, they're all too light. We're going to make a mess. And he's going, what about darker carpets? This is grey and metallic and all this kind of thing. And we're like, don't know.
Do you have a red?
Yeah. Do you have something in puce? I mean, we really had literally no idea. So he goes, right, okay, fine. Let's start at the basics. What about underlay? And I said, apart from Speedy Gonzales, no. And
well done, sir.
Thank you.
I've been disappointed if you hadn't done that.
Yeah. I was right in there.
Underlay.
Eppa. And he goes, right, okay, I'll tell you what, how about this? And he gets like some carpet sample and he says the difference in underlay is kind of the key. And he lays out all these different samples of underlay all over the floor. And he puts all these different samples of carpet on top of the underlay and he goes, stand on top of them. So we stand on them and there's like slightly squishy, slightly more squishy, slightly more squishy. And I'm like, what's the difference? And he goes, well, £1 difference between these two. Well, what's the difference between those two? He goes, well, that one's got sound blocking. He's like, we've got a house. We haven't got a flat. He goes,
we're not planning on imprisoning people in our cellar.
Exactly. We haven't got, we're not Fred and Rose West. We haven't got people in the basement. He's like, well, what about this one? And he's like, he's saying, well, what about rubber? Because it's got more insulating properties and all this kind of thing. I don't fucking know. Anyway, we've been there now for about 45 minutes. We haven't decided on the colour. We haven't decided on underlay. We haven't decided on the type of carpet. We haven't decided. Yeah, go on.
Are you sure it was you that laid the honey trap and not bloody bloke in the shop?
I don't know.
I think he's the one that's actually keeping you there for an hour.
Well, maybe he is, but I had nothing else going on. I had a Wednesday off. So I'm sitting there. I'm just like, whatever. I really have no idea. And then finally, Carol said, you know what? I'm getting hungry. We've been out like all morning, and it's like, let's go get some lunch. And I said, well, let's make a decision. And she's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, I don't know either. And then we looked down, and I said, what about this carpet? And we looked at the carpet that is in the actual Carpet Right shop.
No.
And Carol went, well, that's a nice colour. And I said, it's hard wearing. How many people have been through this shop? And she went, yeah, I suppose so. So I said to the bloke, what about this? And the bloke just went, what? Like, the carpet in the shop, the carpet of the shop. And he went, well, you could. Do you want to feel it? I'm like, no. We're standing on it.
I'm standing on it. Yeah.
Exactly. I said, what's the underlay on this? And he went, oh, it's the one that's this much. And I went, oh, what, the second one we stood on? And he went, yeah. And I went, I'll have that then. So he went, do you have the measurements? I went, no. And he went, we can send out a person to survey your room. And I said, yeah. And he said, right. Do you want gripper? I went, I don't know. And he went, let the guy survey your room and check it all out. And he went, so you want this Carpet Right grey, this underlay. You have no idea how big your room is. You don't know if you need gripper, and you want to buy it. And I'm like,
so you get a free villain from
Grange
Hill. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you get? Yeah. Some confused-looking dude with a shaved head, in a school uniform.
A couple of tattoos on his arm.
Yeah.
And a ring
I'm
through his
46 now. I shouldn't be doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I can't live on dinner money.
I mean, all right, I get the bonus of getting a sausage thrown at me with a fork stuck in it every once in a while, but that's not a life.
Yeah, as much gel as I could have to make my hair look spiky at the age of 52. No, so there you go. So after an hour and a bit, hunger basically drove us to just go, yeah, we'll have the carpet that's actually lining the shop.
You have become your dad.
Yeah. And then
Give me a computer that can play this.
Yeah. Give me a computer that can play this. Yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah, that's what he did, didn't he?
He did. He walked in with his favourite pinball game or whatever it was.
It was Bejeweled.
Was it? Bejeweled, that's it. Give me something that can play that.
I'm tempted to do that, yes.
He did. He walked. The worst bit was though, he was time wasting, but he didn't realise what he was doing, and he paid like fucking well over the odds for a Celeron PC.
Oh God, no!
Yeah, that was a bad move.
Celeron?
Yeah, Celeron. Never forgave him for that. But anyway, there you go.
You bought a Celeron.
Yeah.
You used up some of my inheritance buying this pile of old shit.
Yeah, this was when we were on Pentium 3 as well. So like the Celerons were like long overdue. They must have saw him coming from a mile off. Still, he could play Bejeweled, so he was happy. So he got what he wanted out of it.
Did it have its own internal graphics card that was built in?
No. Oh yeah, it did. It had an Intel. It had an Intel GFX. Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Well, part of the whole thing, and it had 4 whole gig of RAM. But anyway, yes. So that's that. Yeah. So we eventually the guy turned up and measured our house up and all this kind of thing, and then gave us a discount.
Did he?
Yeah.
Why? Did they actually dig up the carpet from the shop?
I was going to say. Go back to the store. There'll be a big square out the middle,
and a single salesman going boggle-eyed with a pair of fucking shears trying to pink it out.
It's got bollards all around it, all fucking traffic cones.
Yeah.
People
so
don't walk over the hole.
Yeah, so there you go. Carpet right. Poor sod spent an hour of his life just wasted on 2 people who had no decision-making process whatsoever and just went, you know what, I like the thing I'm standing on. That'll do. There you go.
Did you do that at B&Q? We're looking for a white for our rooms.
Yeah, Parisian. No, not apple white.
Parisian
no,
moonlight white.
Parisian moonlight white. No, not
what you got on your
sea
walls?
Hello,
white. Yeah. I want Parisian moonlight white. This is apple white. Get out. Yeah, I do all that. Yeah, just go. I want blue. What blue?
You know what you need
blue.
to do. You know what you need to do, right? Okay, if you want to really score some extra bonus points without time wasting thing, what you do is you get them to take you through every shade of fucking white on there, right? And then you just decide on the very first one that you came to when you walked in the shop.
Yeah,
I'll have that.
He starts becoming like that bloody was it that late night Japanese game show where they see how long they can keep someone shaking their hands.
Oh,
it's Banzai.
Banzai, that's it. Yeah.
God,
Yeah, that's it. How long can Lee and Carol keep a shop assistant dancing around on the possibility of a sale?
Oh, there's a late night after the pub flashback.
Yeah, that and Hitman and Her.
Yeah.
With Michaela Strachan when she before she discovered a different kind of nightlife on Springwatch.
What was the other thing? There was one with Davina McCall, Street Mates or something.
Yes, there was that. What was the other one she always used to do? And she was fucking drunk when she did the show. Single fuck. I used to watch it coming back from night shift. It was like one of the few things that were on in the hotel. It was the one with her where she's got this bunch.
You never watched late night TV in a hotel, mate.
Oh,
you can't tell me. There was a credit card bill going through. I'll pay for this. I won't expense this one.
No, you don't need to do that, mate. You just have to keep pressing up and down the channels, and what it does is it confuses the system. And sometimes, just sometimes, that information card that kind of blocks out the screen disappears.
Yeah. But the problem is your left hand has to be going as fast as your right hand.
One hand on the remote control, one hand... No.
And then you suffer epileptic fits if it strobes too quickly.
Thumbs of Thor.
Yeah. It's like fucking playing hypersports one-handed.
Yep.
Daily Thompson's decathlon, 100 spear.
I do have an index finger that can flip a truck now, so there you go.
I can crack walnuts between my thumb and forefinger.
Yep, I can actually poke to the centre of the earth with this finger here.
What was it? Remo, Unarmed and Dangerous, where he has to poke through a wooden bowl, doesn't he? Like 2 inches of wood bowl with a single finger.
Well, there's that other one, isn't there? Look, I'm not going to beat you up with this thumb. I'm going to use this thumb here because this thumb's too powerful.
The Presidio, Sean
Because this thumb's on my wanking hand. So I'm going to use the one that's not on my wanking hand because this hand's deadly. I mean, look at the size of my arm. I mean, look, that's a lot of work there.
I'm going to use this thumb, only this thumb, not this thumb, because that's much too strong.
Honestly, I could use the fucking moon as a bowling ball. This fucking arm. Look,
I've poked through lumps of coal smaller than you.
I can change the gravitational pull of a small planet with this one. Look, that's how strong it is.
Oh, that's Highlander 2 now, isn't it?
Oh, isn't it? Yeah. You can take
Something
the blood and form it into one single point.
Anyway, so there you go. That was my week. Really boring, but yeah, even more boring for some poor sod Carpetwright.
Yeah, he still didn't get his fucking commission.
No, I bet he didn't. No, some other lady called up after the guy after the assessor came round our house and gave us a quote. Anyway, last week, he says, changing the subject very quickly. Last week we reviewed Tammy and the T-Rex. Now, I didn't think we'd get much in the way of feedback. Turns out we got a little bit on the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/the Black Dog Podcast. The first up is Andy Plastides of The Great Derelict, and who we might be seeing at the pub on Friday.
We may.
Yes. And he just quoted the podcast at us, saying, Lee, quote, "It feels like this film was written in a week. Morgan Freeman, it was, in fact, written in 1 week." So there you go. So that's it. Turns out it was written. The Tammy and the T-Rex was written in a week. Jeffrey Mark Hyman, he actually says, it was a fun ride watching this one, but it definitely falls into a weird limbo of not quite so bad it's good. That said, any time a tiny T-Rex arms were performing tasks blatantly incapable of was comedy gold. Yep, no argument there. While Michael Wilding, now this man has put himself into the Satan category for you guys, because he goes, and I quote, "I'm glad Lee is bringing back shit-cover goggles. It always makes for a fun cast. Despite the films being terrible, I actually had fun watching this one. It's definitely not the worst film I've ever seen. While listening to this cast, looking at you, Birdemic, keep up the great work, guys." To which I responded, saying, actually, I don't think anyone else will thank me for that challenge. And at which point, he goes, "Bring it on. Give us your worst."
Do you know what? It's funny how some things can seem like, yeah, a really good idea and lots of fun until your knackers are nailed to a two-by-four because of it. You know, what can I say?
Yeah, apparently he then responded to that with, after I told him that you three would not thank him for that challenge. To which he said,
Rhiannon, get the nail gun.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
He said, "Will I have to go into hiding now?" But I have informed him that I have now been enabled by my audience, and so shit-covered goggles will continue, and you will not thank me for the next one. So
Tommy Walsh is already on his way round. Mate. I'll tell you that now. I'm sending the expert. This is it.
Yeah,
he knows how to handle a nail gun.
Yeah, and lastly, we had Brad Hammond, who said, "Okay, before I go insane, can you clue me in as to what little snippet of Sieg music you occasionally play a number of times at the start of the latest podcast?" Exactly.
Yeah,
please, I beg you.
Honestly, I've never heard it before, but it sounds interesting.
I've never heard of this.
It's a late night political discussion program.
But he goes, is it question time? No. He says,
it's questionable time. That's what it is.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. He says, "You played it a number of times at the start of the latest podcast, and I wanted to know where it's from. Please, I beg you. I know it so well, but I can't place it." To which
play it loudly on a crowded train. Go on,
and see how many people pick it up. It's like, hold on, here we go. Now, just Brad, just while you're listening. Just take your headphones out. You're sitting on the train. Just turn that volume up to maximum and just leave it on for the next 15 seconds. And now, look around now. Hello, everyone on the train, watching Brad, looking at...
You know what that is, don't you?
You have all responded. And by responding, and by listening to my voice, I've seen you. I know you're all there, and you all recognise this. There you go. That's all you got to do. Now put the headphones back in, Brad. They don't need to hear the rest of this.
Nope.
No. So there you go. Yeah, you've just outed yourself to the train. Yeah, but he asked, and I did inform him that it was indeed the Pornhub original jingle, to which he replied, "Wait, did I just out myself in some way?" Yes, Brad, you did. And
Right,
there you
so,
go.
mate.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any feedback, any questions, anything you want to ask at all, by all means, jump on the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. Ask away, either as a completely separate post or as a reply underneath the podcast episode. I'll just leave it there. Also, Sean Gleason did leave a link to a video showing off the extended hot water bottles. I was going to say the extra length hot water bottles, but then that would just, be full on Sid James. Do you want extra length and it's really hot? Anyway, so yes, there you go. Go over to there, or you can send us feedback in via email, which is feedback@blackdogpodcast.com. Right, let's take a break. Let's run the jingles, and then we'll be back to review After Midnight. Roll the jingle.
You say I only hear what I want to. You say I talk so all the time, so and I thought what I felt was simple, and I thought
There you go. That's what's called, I've got to make a jingle, and I only have 2 minutes to do it. There you go. It's called Jingle on the Rush from the Lee Metcalf audio productions of Grab It, Leg It, Edit It. Anyway, hello everyone. Right, After Midnight, formerly titled Something Else. And it's not formerly titled Something Else, and I'm not telling you. The Something Else was the former title. It's a 2019 American romantic monster movie, directed by Jeremy Gardner and Christian Stella, and starring Jeremy Gardner and Bree Grant. The film follows Hank after his longtime girlfriend Abby leaves town unannounced, as he discovers that a mysterious creature has begun stalking him every night. After Midnight premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival in April 26, 2019, under its former title, Something Else, and it was released in limited theatres and video on demand platforms in the United States on February the 14th, 2020. There is no financials whatsoever, so how much do you reckon it made at the box office, Jim?
I think it made 200 million crates of beer.
Yes. No, that's a good one. Darren, what about you?
Oh, I think it made one stag's head and 30 shotgun shells.
Right. Elton, what about you?
One bear trap and a case of wine.
Yes.
Peanut wine.
But you got it all wrong. You all got it wrong. It actually cost one door and a lot of filler. There you go. Anyway, apparently, this is a weird one. It also stars Keith Arbuthnot. That's his actual name, Arbuthnot, as the creature.
Okay.
There you go. Always good. What a name. Keith.
Great name.
But not. Anyway. There is absolutely no information on this film whatsoever beyond critical reception. So let's just go around the table and see how it goes. Apart from the fact that the film is 83 minutes in length. Right.
Yeah.
So let's go to you, Elton. What did you think of After Midnight?
Right. I watched this. I watched this 2.5 times I tried to watch it completely for a third, but ran out of time.
Mm.
But that says to me, I enjoyed it, but there were more things I was searching for. I enjoyed it, but it made me very uncomfortable.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, just certain things that I could relate to that were very uncomfortable and not pleasant, and it was just okay.
Okay.
But I enjoyed it, but I still think there's something that I'm maybe missing on this.
Okay. Fair enough. What about you, Dal?
I absolutely fucking love this film.
Yeah?
Oh my God, yes. This is, every once in a while on Black Dog, we come across a film which we think is just going to be a bit of a laugh or whatever, standard tropes, this, that, and the other. And then we get into it and we sit there discussing it for like 6 hours because of certain themes and certain things that happen in it. And for me, this is a film with it's got layers in it. So many metaphors for different things. Everything from grief to depression.
Right.
And I will say I agree with Elton because this film actually kind of got to me in quite personal ways, because there's stuff in there that just kind of, I've had this certain conversations with people about things, and it's like suddenly I am back there looking at that as if I'm watching myself do certain things, thinking, don't go down that route. No, change what you're doing and look what's going on and just realise what is about to happen here, you fucking idiot. Yeah, so I was actually I sat there in work watching the end of this film. I watched it on the train, and I sat there in work, and it was such, it was a good job. It was really early I got in extra early in work this morning, so I got to finish it off. And I'm just glad that I just had that to do, and I didn't have to deal with anybody while watching it, because it was, it kind of hit a few marks that I didn't expect it to. It's like, how the fucking hell did this happen?
Right.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
No, you're not. No, it's like taking a time machine into one's own past, and from certain things that certain people say, and possibly things that are not so in the past as well. Just
Okay.
And such a relief with the ending of the film, as in the way it plays out. I can't tell you how actually happy it's like being trapped in a cell, and the walls are getting smaller and smaller, and suddenly you get out and you're back out in the sunshine and you appreciate certain things. That's what the ending was like. It was like that, being released, and it was a relief. Not a detriment on the film at all. No, this is a plus for the film, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. We'll do Jim last because it's his pick. For me, okay, I'm going to be the naysayer on this one, I think. It was a game of two halves, and I totally usually monsters as metaphor, I'm down with that. I mean, fucking hell, my favourite film is a monster as a metaphor. I mean, my second favourite film is pretty much a monster as a metaphor as well, with Jaws. I mean, normally that's right up my alley. This felt like there was a writer, the writer and director of this were just trying to work something out personally, and just stuck a monster in there as a metaphor, but the metaphor didn't really work for me. the human relationship, so to speak, in the second half, I was down with, and I understood and I appreciated, but it didn't feel like it belonged in anywhere to do with the first half of that film, because the first half of that film really felt a bit wishy-washy. So by the time I hit the end, I appreciated what it was trying to do, and I appreciated how it was doing it, but I just felt like I was being hit over the head with the clumsiest of clumsy metaphors, and all I felt was kind of cringy. But that might just be, well, obviously that's just me, because you, Elton, and you, Darren, you're both on it, so that's perfectly cool.
I wouldn't say it's just you. That I think that's where I was struggling towards the end. That's why I was saying that I think there's something more, because I was trying to work out what the monster was representing.
Exactly.
I don't think I found it.
No. So I mean, I won't shit all over the film, because, like I say, there's lots to like about it, but for me, I found it lacking. I came away from it unsatisfied. I felt that perhaps maybe a different director or a different writer who maybe it. Okay. This is going to be a right turn before I get to Jim, but famously, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, was fabulously mean-spirited and dark. Completely different from the rest of the films in the series. And it was because Spielberg was going through the messiest of messy divorces. And he was bitter, and he was angry, and he was twisted by the entire experience, and it bled out into the film, right? That's how I feel After Midnight is. I feel like the writer was going through a particularly strong breakup and wanted to write like a 15-year-old going through his first love, just writing out everything that his girlfriend said to him before she left, and then make a film about it. And that's fine. There's a truth to that, and it's well worth doing. But on the other hand, sometimes you write this stuff in your diary and you should just keep it there. But that's my thing. So, Jim, what about you?
I sort of went into this not knowing what to expect. We had fears kind of. We've had a lot of sort of films that I considered kind of the house in the middle of nowhere and the monsters sort of subgenre. Where you're probably not going to see the monster. Things like, Bird Box, Quiet Place, It Comes at Night. And it's kind of like, I hope it's just not a cheap version of them. And as it was, this film was full of surprises. I didn't expect it to be so funny.
Yes.
I mean, we were sitting on a Saturday night, and it's kind of, we weren't sure, is it going to be a Saturday night sort of movie? Actually, it kind of was, but it was also something a bit more as well. And, I got a lot out of this. I'm still, I think, processing what it all means, but it just kind of... I like a film that can surprise me, and this surprised me several times. And there's lots of, I think, very deft bits of writing in the way that it sets you up to play a scene one way, and it will subtly turn things on their head. And that goes all the way through. I think, as Elton said, it is a film with many layers. And, I really enjoyed it, because especially, I didn't predict that ending. Which might go down as one of the most violent heckles ever.
Yeah. If you don't like the fucking song, just say. Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I mean, okay. Let's go into it. I mean, you've heard our thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen it, do check it out. Regardless of what I might have said, but do check it out. Make up your own mind. Send us some feedback in. But to go further and discuss it further really does require spoilers again. So we are going to discuss it. There are going to be spoilers, and going any further forward, You know, here's the spoiler. Here's the spoiler foghorn. You know, going any further is up to you. Ah! Anyway, right, that's it. Spoilers. You can only blame yourself if you find out shit now. So, firstly, let's get to the brass tacks with the monster, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the elephant in the room with this movie, as far as I'm concerned. If you didn't have the monster, this movie would change not single jot. And I feel. How do you feel that is the same?
The
Do you feel
might
the same?
be slightly different.
But well, yeah, but the ending's over and done with so quickly. It's just like it's such an afterthought. So to me, that was just like a da 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 da, gag. It was just like everything but a Swanee whistle.
I slightly disagree.
Well, that's
with this.
fine. That's why I'm asking the question: was the monster essential? Because monsters as metaphor tend to me to run throughout the whole movie and drive the narrative, even if you don't understand how it's driving the narrative. Whereas this thing was just at the start, and it felt like a red herring, and then it was at the very end because someone probably sat there and went, or it felt to me like someone sat there and went, well done, what about the monster? Oh yeah, fuck it, stick it in there, get rid of it.
No, there's a thing with this. As far as I'm concerned, by the way I see it is this, right? One of the metaphors the monster is for me, is depression, right? And I'll tell you for why. Now, I'm sure fellow members here who have, experiences with depression personally will know that they always get that one person that says, oh, come on out, cheer you up, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So we all know that, don't we? Right? We know those people exist. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the monster is the depression, right? The monster is that depression that comes to him. It doesn't always sit there, but it comes back, right? It goes and it comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. Doesn't always hang around, but it doesn't completely disappear, right? What that is, the perfect example of what I'm saying is the policeman. Who doesn't actually fucking believe that hasn't got a monster. No, you haven't got a monster. It's something else. Don't worry about it. It's not what you think. It's just a bear. It's something explainable. And that's what people do with depression. They don't believe a person suffering from it. No. Right? They say, oh, it's just you're in the doldrums. Yeah.
It's a case of the grumps.
Yeah, it's a black bear. Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, it's the doldrums. That's what that is. And that's how I see the monster right now. You might be asking, so what about the end? Well, sometimes people don't believe you've got depression until you have a fucking breakdown right in front of them. And that's what that bit was. When the monster suddenly comes into the room, suddenly that's the breakdown. That is the final fucking breakdown in front of everybody. And people go, oh, fuck, there really was something wrong.
Yeah.
And that's the way I see the monster. And that is why it's important that it's throughout the film, because it's emphasising that. It's emphasising that reoccurrence, right? It's never, it started when his girlfriend goes. So there we go. So it's like when she disappears, this thing starts setting in, and it's getting worse and worse and worse to the point where it actually breaks into his fucking place. It's like his house is his mind, right? And by the end of it, getting to the end of the film, that monster breaks in and wrecks the fucking joint. Right? So it's starting to become out of control until by the end, it suddenly appears and tries to fucking consume him completely. Luckily, he's strong enough to try and fight back against it.
Right.
And that's the way I see it.
Okay.
It's that. That's for me, that is what the monster kind of represents.
Okay. Can I add to that?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so
this is discussion time because I've got nothing to add. I want to hear from you guys.
I have been thinking about this, trying to work it out, and trying to work out what it represents. I like the idea of depression. I hadn't thought of the depression actually. I more saw it as his regret
Right.
and the way that he'd either treated or not treated his girlfriend.
Mm.
And all of a sudden she clears off after being in the relationship for 10 years. They're happy. He's happy doing what they're doing. She's kind of not, but going along with things. As soon as she goes and he doesn't know what really is going on, that regret of, oh, I should have done this or should have done that, turns up, knocks on the door. It's there. And it only comes at night because, that's when you're sitting there thinking about things. And the reason why it doesn't turn up when they're talking, because they're talking these things out. There's no reason for the regret to be there. They're actually working through these problems when they're sat in the doors. Then they have their little dinner party, and then it rocks up at the very end. It doesn't turn up while they're having the dinner party because they're relaxed, they're talking about things, and then he sings this song, and then all of a sudden, bang, it hits him. And that's what it physically hits him, what he's done. He's laid all his cards on the table, and that regret physically hits him. He realizes what he needs to do, and that's what he does in the very end.
Okie dokie. Jim, do you have anything further to add to that? Because, like I say, I'm just listening to this one. I've got nothing constructive to add.
Well, it's just one of those things. I was been weighing this up, and I mean, I think the beauty of this movie is it's not one thing or the other. You can have multiple interpretations and different aspects meaning different things. I would kind of I would very much, agree with what Elton and Darren have said in their interpretations. That is particularly that fact when it appears at the end, that is kind of like a public showdown. But I kind of also have the idea of kind of, what if there really was a fucking monster all along?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What about that scenario? Because that one's quite interesting. Because I think a lot of this is about not being listened to and not being believed. It's also, I think, it's also very true in the relationship that neither were listening to what each other really wanted. But it was, we have all these metaphors. No, actually, it was just a chupacabra and it just latched onto him.
Yeah.
And he fucked it up at the end. They were like, oh shit, he wasn't crazy. Fuck. And I mean, that is kind of sounds almost like a comedy ending, but in the context of a film like this, which is pretty much playing like real life roles, think about, it's just, he attacks it and kills it brutally with those anklers, which is, kind of mean a lot to him personally, that thing. And it's he actually destroys a bone of contention in their relationship to do it. But you also you get that shot of where they're just all stood in the hall, just looking aghast, horrified, and amazed. And I think it's kind of, you have to sort of think kind of, I think there's a wider metaphor of kind of the effects and the ripples of, say, having a breakdown or something just really fucked up and unexpected happening. Just bang, life drops down. You have to deal with that. And suddenly all your rules, all your beliefs are changed, and you realise what you believe doesn't fucking matter. Reality doesn't give two shits about your philosophy.
Yeah.
There is what there is. And sometimes there is a fucking monster that's been coming around your house in this case.
Well,
and I think that's very interesting. That's another way to play with this story, I think.
I believe that there was a monster. I'm not saying that it's once again all in his head or anything like that. I wouldn't say that because you have the physical scars on the doors and everything. It's clearly saying there is something here. I'm shooting at something. Something is dragging away these big bear traps that I'm laying down. Something is coming here for me. It's in the house. I personally think, yes, there was a monster, but it also represents the guilt and basically the relationship. And you're right. I think that's where it is I'm not going to get too personal or anything like that, but it is representing the not listening, lots of things that go along with that as well. It's not listening, not being heard. And it's so frustrating having them late night talks where you're like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. We're still talking about this.
Yeah. I mean,
really frustrating.
I mean, that's the thing. Just listening to what you guys are saying, I don't think I disagree with any of it. But I think the problem is that my personal interpretation watching it at the time was it was a tale of two halves. And the monster didn't integrate into that beyond the kind of constant implication that maybe she was somehow linked to it. And
so did we all think it was her?
Yeah, within 5 minutes, I think I
exactly
as that.
Yeah,
and then when he brings it up in that long, still held shot of them on the conversation on the porch, and I was sitting there thinking, he's going to ask her, and she's either going to reveal something or not. When it turns out, as Jim says, it's the Occam's razor. Sometimes it's just a monster in the field. And to me, that's like, well, that's cool. And, and all that sort of thing. But then, if it is just a monster in a field and not necessarily a metaphor, then it's a complete waste of the first half of the film. And a bit of a red herring and a sort of like, distraction. If it is a metaphor, then clearly it's not as clearly laid out as you would hope for a film with a monster as a metaphor. So, to me, it's either muddled at the start or it's a waste of time at the start. And that's the problem I have. I feel like that, as you guys are alluding to, that 18-minute conversation, and I know it's 18 minutes because as soon as it got into that shot and it started holding on, I thought, I'm going to make a note how long this is holding for, because this is kind of clearly the bit at which the entire movie is really pivoting. It's like, so you got 18 minutes of still one shot, both of them on the thing, him completely just soaking it up, and she's just telling him, it should have just been a fling. You've ruined my life. Effectively, that's what she's saying, and that everything she's doing is to, have new experiences. You're too comfortable where you are, and I don't want to be that comfortable. I want to go and live a life. And, I'm sure nobody wants to get that personal about the whole thing, but I'm sure at some point or another we've either been on one end or the other of that conversation. What you want is not what I want. And that on its own, those 18 minutes was honestly a really heartfelt, truthful, honest piece of writing. Right? Without a doubt. That bit there, right there, was essentially what I think was the first and last bit that was written in that script. I reckon the writer sat down, literally went, this has just happened to me, I'm going to write it down, and then he built the film around it. And that's kind of the problem. When you have a thing like that sitting right at the heart of it, you go, right, okay, well then, if this is the linchpin, everything else has to mean something around it. And then they just go, no, it's a monster. And, and like I say, your interpretation of it as being depression, which is perfectly valid now, I think about it now, and then, or it being as sort of like shame or, a despair at having to sort of expose yourself emotionally to people or not being believed. I mean, all these things are there if you want to dig them out, but I feel like it's a thing upon the audience to dig it out, not something the film is presenting you as a possibility. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? So, the film's going, here's a monster. If you want to see it as depression, that's fine. If you want to see it as, abandonment, that's fine. If you want to see it as fear of the unknown, that's fine. If you want to see it as sort of like an encroaching despair. That's another thing. You could do all these kind of things. You can put those on, but the film's not really telling you anything. It's giving that monster is completely blank page. It's a bit like a open world game with no story. It's whatever you want it to be, and it kind of and that central conversation allows you to put yourself in that position and see how you feel about that, and then project it onto the monster, which feels like a bit of a cheat to me.
Right.
Because if you're going to make a monster represent something, then kind of... I know it sounds a bit sort of explain it to me, please, but I'd like the monster to almost be clear on its on its intention, if in terms of the story subtext. Or am I wrong in thinking that? I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, am I completely heartless here, or am I completely missing the point?
I think this film's dealing with the sort of subjects where there aren't easy answers, and if at the end, say, the monster comes in, he beats you to death, and then you cut away to them looking, and you cut back to him, and you found he's just brained a fucking hobo who's been bothering him.
I was thinking or
it's just like a
party guest,
manky
one of the
fox,
other ones. And
you know what I mean? Yeah, I'd have been disappointed with that because it's kind of
yeah.
Whereas this is kind of like, well, it raises lots of questions, but it's that thing. I think on reflection, I don't need solid answers because in this kind of story, with all the themes and the relationship and everything, there aren't easy answers. And kind of that's the point.
I mean, I don't need easy answers. I mean, again, how many films have we reviewed where we spent, like as Darren says, we spend like 6 hours just fucking picking over, like, did the person pick up a box or did they look at a lighthouse funny? I mean, we've done that. We've done that enough times. But I think in all those cases, those interpretations feel valid and feel like they're out there for you to pick up. Whereas I think, for me, this stuff didn't really land because it didn't feel connected to the rest of it.
See,
I think the monster's always there, even when you're not having the thing coming at night. You know it's coming at night, and kind of the film sort of pulls out its focus, and you begin to see the kind of wider effects. And if you begin to learn more about his life, he's kind of like, the buyer goes, oh, he actually owns that. And I think it's that it's not just about dealing with a monster that comes at night, it's how it's becoming his obsession. And it spoke to me a lot of kind of the monster at the door is kind of the way that when you're having a tough time, that's the time life will just give you some more unnecessary shit out of the blue that wasn't your fault, that was absolutely, you had no control over or even no explanation for. And, kind of sometimes that's another part of sort of the whole, well, it's a mental ill health umbrella that sometimes it's hard to separate. It's kind of, yes, I'm struggling because, mentally I've got the equivalent of pneumonia and I'm coping very badly. But also I do actually have genuine threats in my life. I have genuine problems that need to be sorted as well. And it's not just things getting on top of me and I'm worried about losing my house. There is a man with a baseball bat who's going to evict me. And, it's all untangling all that kind of stuff. And, I think kind of the monster's always sort of there. Or rather, the effect the monster's having on him is always there. Even when you're not seeing the nighttime sort of to and fro he's having in the first sort of act.
Sorry, Elton, you were going to say something as well?
Well, yeah, just going on to the first act, it seems like you have a big problem with it. And it's that cutting between life going on now and life going on before as well. And I think on my first watch, I struggled with it as well. Because you were watching the twos and fro's of a relationship. Sometimes you didn't quite know where you were in in the relationship and in the time frame of things.
Mm.
And you also don't know all the facts about the relationship.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Because there is that, from our point of view, she's just left him and left a note.
Mm.
But later in the conversation, you learn she's talked about going, and she asked him to go with her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like she's done it right in the blue. He knows where she's gone. Because she told him and said, "Will you come with me? I want to do this." Which is a big pivot point in the movie.
Yeah, because that was the point where I kind of felt like at one point I was going to lose it and just sort of throw my hands up in the air and go, "This is definitely not for me." Which is that she just comes back and just starts doing the dishes, and you think, "Hang on, what?" And he just walks downstairs, takes the record off, looks at her, and then just wanders off. And you think, if she's been gone for like a month. I don't know about you guys, but if your partner, significant other, fucks off for a month and you don't know where they are and they're not answering your phone, wouldn't the first words out of your mouth be, "Where the fuck have you been?"
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Really? So what? So hang on. So
No, hold on. It's like, what if you are too angry to actually speak? What if he's missed her, but it's like, he's been alone for like a month, right? He's been stewing with this for that amount of time. And it's that, I don't know. I don't think it's as cut and dry as, where the fuck have you been? I think.
Because he knows where the fuck she's been.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It does pivot, but I'm just saying that.
It doesn't, I don't think it's as cut and dry as that. Not everybody reacts like that. It's that whole thing of, he's been wanting her to come back and now she's returned. It's without him knowing that she's coming back. It's being caught short. It's that there's no time to prepare. It's not like a run up or anything like this. It's just, this has knocked him for six, I think. It's that, what do I say to her? What, I don't know. It's just, it's that whole thing of, it's the emotion of the time.
Again, like I say, I know I'm coming across as the arsehole here. I know this.
No. It's that is how you'd react to the situation. That is you personally, right? And that is like, well, okay, that's fine. That's, you can't argue with that because that's you. But this is him.
Yeah, I think with her returning. Okay, with her returning and being in the kitchen and doing stuff, basically making herself at home again, as if nothing's happened. He's come down, just stands there. He hasn't got the energy to even confront. It's just, and there's proof that he hasn't listened because she has told him where she's going. That is part of the argument that they're having.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's what I'm saying. I mean, later on it becomes clear why he's done it, because he's obviously remembered. But the point is, from the audience's point of view, at that point, to see him just come downstairs, look at her, and then just wander off, and then he kind of seemingly goes throughout the entire day until they finally have a conversation, you're sort of sitting there going, this doesn't make sense. And I understand that doesn't make sense because it's not supposed to make sense. You're supposed to sit there and question it. And why is he not suddenly bringing this up? And sure enough, it's done that job.
Also, he didn't know exactly where she'd been.
No.
Because he says to her, so you went to your school reunion. Okay, so that covers the first 5 minutes. Or first 4 hours. Where have you been since then?
Yeah.
And it's that conversation which is the point of why she feels the way she does. Because of the restrictive nature of his comfort for her.
Yeah.
Which is, he's happy just existing in that bubble where it's like she's never been out of that.
No.
That village. And it's like, I want to experience the world.
Yeah.
And that's what her personality, that's all part of this. And it's like his fear of always having that fear of not being good enough for her. As well, there's that. There's that at play as well, because he says that it's that whole thing of, you know, I knew you couldn't be locked down or whatever it is the phrase he used, but I tried it. I tried to do it anyway. His regret of that. I know this is probably not explaining that bit about the whole him doing what he did when she came back, but yeah, I don't, like I say, I don't think there are everybody would ultimately. I think there are, you know, this is a. I think it's one of the ways of dealing with it. People deal with different things in different ways, and I don't think everybody is automatically.
Yeah, where the fuck you been?
Yeah, where the fuck have you been? It's you know, sometimes anger is so it just, and when you find it, you know, something comes, but so the thing you want is suddenly there. I think you've been. I mean, we've seen any number of films where you've had a person who's had an obsession, and then they get what they've been obsessed about, and suddenly their reaction is not what they thought it would be. And this is, and I think that's the same with him. It's that I don't know what to say to you.
Yeah.
I've had this building up and building up and building up and building up. You've come along as if, you know, you're sitting there, you stood there working like nothing has ever happened, and I don't know how to process this.
Yeah.
You know? I
mean,
I have seen it in real life of where people have had a row, and then the joys of shared houses, folks. And then they come back, and everyone's like, "Oh God, it's going to kick off," and they don't. They just freeze each other out.
Wow.
And sometimes it's done as a kind of, well, if you're nothing's happened, fuck you. Nothing did happen. And, you know, it is like a Cold War. But sometimes it is, like as Darren says, people are just so overwhelmed, and it's kind of, all right, I'll make a cup of tea. You go over there, put a record on, because if I either say anything, it's going to be a blazing row, and the game's over. It'll be nuclear, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
And so instead, you do seemingly weird, mundane things that don't seem appropriate. It's just, and that, you know, I think that in the movie, that period, because it is at night, it's kind of, then they actually have the conversation. They're both got down to a level where they can have a conversation without exploding.
Yeah.
I'd say that did work for me. I mean, that kind of, I mean, at first you reappear like, what is it? Fractured timeline stuff going on, but then it's kind of, oh no, okay, all right. It's not a flashback. All this is happening now, and it is kind of, I think it does that deliberately to you, because you see so much of this film through his eyes.
Yeah.
And you know, it's there to give you that, his disorientation of just kind of, okay.
Well, I mean, again, you know, I the pivot, once you realise that it hasn't shocked him that she's come back, is disorientating. And then finally they have the conversation on the porch. And it's the thing I keep coming back to, is the conversation on the porch was the first and probably the only, in far as I'm concerned, properly, realistically well done moment of the film. Those 18 minutes could have been a sit there on their own short film, and that would have been just as good, because the emotional impact, the general vibe of it, the study of a relationship in crisis, as you guys have said, you know, everyone's had one of those kind of 11 o'clock at night going on till 4 o'clock in the morning conversations that have just got to get out. You've got to unpick those things and go through some uncomfortable truths. But, you know, that bit to me was the key, and everything else felt like fluff danced around the outside. You know, his idealized view of her. Well, you know, everything's in soft focus, dappled sunlight, lovely, funny bits, all this kind of stuff. And to me, that felt, as soon as I saw that, it was like, right, okay, we're into, you know, sort of like idealized territory. He's an unreliable narrator. Yeah, okay. But I think it's really hard to put into words, but the problem that I have always comes back to the fact that it effectively once you've got the unreliable narrator with all the, oh, isn't she lovely? Where's she gone? What's going on with the phone calls? Why isn't she picking up? Why the cryptic messages? All those things in and of themselves, and people coming to his house and saying, are you sure? She's left you. You haven't done this. 10 years have gone by. You've done nothing. All of that stuff is full-on, truthful, kind of honest relationship issues. Stuff you've seen before, stuff you might have even experienced. Everyone's done it. But the point is that as soon as you throw a monster in there, as a metaphor, my first thought is, well, there's something more to this than just a relationship in jeopardy. There is something else going on here. Does the monster, represent abuse? Does the monster represent fear of another member of the family? Does it?
I think that's for you to decide, though.
But then the point stands. Well, my point stands in my head that if the monster can be so many other things and it's adding nothing to the situation, at least as far as I'm concerned, because the rest of the film could exist perfectly well without it. And that's shown by the fact that the monster literally appears for about 35 seconds at the end, and otherwise is just a hidden presence behind a door that you only have for about 10, 20 minutes of the film.
It's also... it is that thing of people not being believed, though. And then suddenly...
But then why a monster? You could have it 100 different ways.
Well, why not?
Which is a fair response. I think...
It's like, what's more fantastic than you turning up to your mate and going, there's a monster stalking my fucking flat at night. And you go, fuck off. Right? There you go. And it carries on and carries on. They don't be, but they're not believed. And then suddenly it's presented there right in front of you. I think that is one of the key aspects of having that monster in there, because it is so fantastic.
Yeah. But then if you're going to see, this is...
you don't have to have the monster in it. No.
What I was going to say is it opens up another can of worms. If you're trying to be an honest portrayal of a relationship in jeopardy and people don't believe him and all this kind of stuff, and you say there's a monster, it is actually real, your brain immediately goes into, for me, my brain goes into a different position of going, well, if this is all real and this is all honest and this is all something going on, then wouldn't he act a little bit more, well, I suppose rationally is probably the wrong word to use, but wouldn't there be a bit more, you've got to believe me, how can I prove it to you?
Well, the copper says to him, why don't you pick up a camera instead of picking up a gun? It's like, okay. And he tries to take a picture and it doesn't work.
But then you got another thing, which then becomes, if he's terrified of the monster, why doesn't he just not be in the house?
Well, he tried that, and look what happened.
It went in the house and then ran away.
Yeah, but it fucked his shit up as well when it went in there. It ransacked his place. It went through it, like fucking turning his sofa over, knocking his drawers and everything else. It that was it. It got in and it made a mess of everything.
You could say as well, because you watch Abby through this movie, and when you do see her, like with the slow pan in as they're having like a one of her many birthday gatherings with lots of wine. Of course, there's always wine. Why wouldn't there be wine? Of course, we need wine every day, don't we?
I hope you like this stuff because you're going to help me drink it.
Yeah.
I've got 12 bottles of it out there.
But you can see she wants to get on with, like, have experiences. She says in that long conversation they have about how most of her family haven't been out of the city or the town that they live in, but she wants to go further afield and she wants to experience, she wants to live. And that's her choice, that's her prerogative. But you can see that the question of kids and marriage and being together, he's quite happy where he is. And that is seen as him not listening because she's not. You can see the pain on her face. But then you could push that towards the monster where he's saying, look, I'm being attacked. I have scratches all over the place. There's blood on the porch. It's eaten the cat. And yet you're not listening to me. And everyone's going, well, look, we're quite happy here. We're not being attacked or anything like that. It's not really affecting us. So what do you want me to do about it? Take a photo of it. And I think he feels he's not being listened to at that time.
Do you know what? I think something that's coming to mind with this sort of style of storytelling. This is the sort of thing that Star Trek itself has done through time immemorial. It's taken something like this, turned it into a sci-fi theme to make it acceptable to people watching it. And it's, even though it's a hard truth about something, there's something that makes them listen to that rather than somebody telling them this is about race, and race hatred is a bad thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it two alien cultures, one that's got one side is blackface, the other side is whiteface, and the other one side is whiteface and the other side is blackface. And one that looks down upon the other one because of that difference. Now, during the 60s, when that was released, people watched that and it was like, oh, that's a really cool story. The metaphor being in there, right? Whereas I think even the producers say that that's the way they put it in there because it was an easier way for people to digest that at that time. And I think this does the same thing with the monster, the representation. It is that, because it is quite, I found it quite hard watching bits of it and its conversations and stuff, as I've already said. But it's that.
But here's the question for you, right? I mean, I take all of those points, but those conversations, would they have been any harder or any easier if the monster wasn't there?
If the monster wasn't there, no, it's still good script writing, right?
Where have you gone?
Oh, hello, I'm still here.
Oh, right,
okay.
Here.
Sorry, I've just leaned over to switch a light on. Sorry, my apologies.
It's okay, you just sort of vanished.
You sound like you've been shrank and put into a tin can.
Yeah,
I have, yes.
I'm a little man. I'm a little man hiding in a cupboard.
I can't do that voice. I wish I could. I wish I could do little man stuck in a tin.
Yeah.
But
help me. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Jim, you were going to say, sorry,
I think because the monster's there, it makes everything harder. Or a perceived monster, if you see what I mean. Because it's adding this sort of element of chaos and the unknown to an already fraught situation. I mean, his friends generally are concerned about him because his girlfriends have left him and they don't know the ins and outs. And he's clearly not doing it very well. However, they're even more concerned that he's claiming there's a monster coming to visit him every night.
Yeah.
That's a whole kind of, another aspect of it, I think. I think it's, the monster sort of raises the stakes. It is kind of the embodiment of destructive chaos. That is what it is, whether it's purely metaphorical, where it's in his head, where it's actually there. Its effect is the same.
Yes.
Do we think the alien is, or whatever it is a bit like the id monster from Forbidden Planet, where this thing was created because of
it draws upon emotion.
Yeah, and that's how it forms, because of whatever strong emotion is being felt at the time. Maybe
See,
Maybe this is that?
I'll
I
be
don't
honest.
know.
I'll be
I'm just grabbing.
No.
at straws for
Do
this.
you know what? That went through my mind at one point because when the thing didn't turn up while they were having the big long conversation,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, hang on, if she's not the thing itself, which was kind of obviously all of our thoughts in our head,
Yep.
but if she's not the thing itself, then is this thing a manifestation? Because he's obviously left blood on the floor from it and using the man trap on it, the bear trap on it, and it's obviously eating his cat. So either he's having some kind of psychotic break or this thing is being dreamed up from somewhere. And I did kind of dally with the idea of the sort of Forbidden Planet creature from the id.
Mm.
I'll be honest with you. I just I can't. I don't want to seem like I'm not getting the whole point of it, because I am. I understand what you guys are saying.
No, this is a great beauty of this, and I think this is the point of all of this. Is it's that it's the Vorlon. It's you see it represents something deep within you. It's if you haven't, this is what this film is.
Yeah,
right? As me and Elton have said,
it's the dark tree in Empire Strikes Back.
It is, yes. You. The only thing that's in here is what you take with you.
Yes.
Wow, I've been profound. Fuck me.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to go now, guys.
Yeah,
I'll see you later. I think I need to go.
It's happened.
It's happened.
Yeah.
Shit.
I've become the disparaging ninny who doesn't get it, and everyone else is the one telling me what I'm missing. And fucking hell, black is white, up is down.
It's not August the 13th. It's Skynet has become aware right now on January the 24th.
I've lost my fucking mind. It's all gone.
It.
It's all gone Pete Tong now.
So I think that's what this film does. I think that's it. It's that you as I say, you take in there, you get out of it what you take in with you.
Yeah.
And can I just say, by the way, and this is going back to personal experience now. You see the relationship at the beginning, right? You see how wonderful it is, and how nice.
Yep.
And then you see her come back in, and I've got to say that whole thing worked on me like nobody's business. I've had that experience before where you have a break from someone. Yeah. And when they come back, even though you've been hoping that things are going to be fixed, you can just, it's almost like you can hear something that's just broken. And it's not going to be that good. And what was easy, what was easy going is now just awkward. And as much as you want it, you don't want it. And it's, it's just such for me, I think, more props to him. If that's the way it was intended to be written, and this is just an happy accident, then... And that's why I was relieved by the end of the film, because it didn't go down that way. And every time that kind of thing has happened, whenever that's happened to me in the past, that's happened a couple of times, it's never been a good thing. Yeah. That's it. If somebody goes for a break, as far as I'm concerned, that's it. It's not going. They're not saying they're backing off, even though they think they are. They're saying, I'm backing off right out the driveway and I'm off down the shops, mate. Yeah. I ain't coming back. Yeah. It's, to me, this is what the relief was for me watching that. That it's like she hadn't given up on him by the end of it. And it was just, and he said the right thing. He was like, he'd learned his lesson and she was, there was still that chance for him. And it's like, yes, good on you, man. I think, so just that bit, even out of everything else in the film, that one bit just, oh man, I was there in the room. I was there in the room with him when that, it's, Well,
well, again, I mean, go back to my point. I mean, that felt that felt honest and truthful.
It was,
and it
so
felt
very much.
It felt real, and you know, like I say, we've all, in one form or another, I think we've all been there, whether we admit it or not. But I think we have.
We've been on both sides of that conversation. I think I know. I definitely have.
Me too. I mean, I'm definitely not going to go into it right now. But
no, you don't go into detail. But you know, it's like I've had the experience. Thank you very much.
Yes, you just need to know that I know.
You can relate.
All I'll say is I spent time in a Turkish prison. I'm not going to. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go into what happened. You just need to know that. Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
You've got your context.
I have indeed experienced the edibles. Afterwards, I shall say no more. Yeah. I totally get it. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not completely dismissing the film out of hand. I understand it's something that's not landing with me, but I think that's because, like I say, I just think that if you get something as raw as that middle 20 odd minutes, 18, 20 minutes, I think everything else has to match that standard and that level. And that, to me, was kind of the problem. If everything had sort of stayed at sort of like the singing Lisa Loeb and being attacked randomly by a monster stage left.
That made me jump
That made me laugh my arse off. I spat my tea all across my bed.
I thought, fuck me, Will Smith's changed.
Yeah. I mean, it was... If it was meant to be important, you know, if it was meant to be sort of scary, it failed. And if it was meant to be hilarious, it succeeded, because it was just like, that's the sort of shit that you and me, Dal, would have come up with for Darren Diamond about 10, 15 years ago, that suddenly out of nowhere, attack of a monster. Yeah.
Yep, and it's the way those people just like, oh.
Yeah.
That was that kind of reaction.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. It was just like it was, you know, it was the Shakespeare thing, you know, or was it Tom Stoppard thing, you know, exit stage left pursued by bear. I mean, it was just a bizarre kind of moment of just, and I just laughed, and it kind of broke the tension for me, because I just like, at that point I was into the relationship side of things.
Yeah.
But it's so. Like I say, I think when you've got something as raw and emotionally sort of heartfelt as that conversation on the porch, everything else feels a little frivolous. I think that's probably the best way of putting it.
I did love that bit where he says, I was supposed to give you this, and he holds the bottle towards her, and you see the ring taped to the bottom of the bottle. Although that was just nice. Yeah.
But again, it doesn't get a chance to breathe. It's literally there, and then the film just goes donk, end. You know.
I didn't think that, Darren.
No.
With the I didn't think there was a running theme of the wine all the way through. She was always had a glass of wine on her.
The peanut wine. Yeah.
But she always had a glass of wine. There was one at the table where he's slowly zooming in to her. At the last meal type thing, she had wine. It was just wine. In the fields as well, carrying a glass of wine.
Yep.
You think, fuck, put the fucking wine down.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, that said, he never stopped
nothing
drinking.
wrong with wine for breakfast.
He never stopped drinking that beer. Seriously,
no, he didn't. No, he carried on and on and on.
So is it a story about alcoholism?
Could be. Really? Are you sure, Elton? Are you sure?
Because that's what I'm saying. It's, you got about a million different ways of interpreting elements of this.
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of grabbing onto the stuff that, you know, felt emotionally raw and honest. You know, you want to throw metaphor on simile on metaphor on subtext. It's just like, yeah, that's all lovely, but you're coming back to the same point, which is this relationship falling apart.
Maybe I'm grasping onto things that I want to see and making it my own movie. So.
Which is fine. No, which is absolutely perfectly fine. And I think, you know, the discussion that's gone on so far has kind of proved that. You know, it's what you bring to the table.
Yeah. You mentioned about, does the monster add anything to the movie? just by being a monster.
Yeah.
I think it does. Because you have them moments where he's sat on that sofa blocking the door, and first he shoots through the door, and you see all the scratches, and you see the hand come through, and you're like, oh dear. And without them moments, I think it is just a man sitting on a sofa next to a door. And that isn't terribly exciting.
Just a man sitting there with the roast potatoes in his lap.
Well, it's you could have the depression, but it's very hard to portray that. It's just a man slumped there, flicking cards around, waiting for something to happen. But excuse me, he sat there just throwing cards while he's thinking about things. But you also have this chain coming through the door, through the hole, and that is, what's going to happen there? And you're waiting for something to happen.
But again, it happens, and then immediately nothing. It just goes pull, and you hear and he kind of just, and it just goes cut, done.
But I think it adds. Otherwise, I think the film would be too slow without them moments. It would just be a man sat there flicking cards. It would be a man just sat there on the sofa, and then he sits down on the sofa. What else could go wrong? Oh, that's right, the sofa's going to break now. It's just piling things on. But I think the monster element, it keeps you on your toes a little bit. It makes you question what else is going to happen in that scene and in the next scene as well. I think it just adds not much, but it adds a little bit. It's a bit of seasoning.
You know what?
It's not necessary, but it works.
No, I think it's more than seasoning. So I think it represents something. It represents all the things there aren't answers to.
Do you know what?
That's very, very important. That there is this big ball of very destructive unknown and sort of chaotic things there. And I think kind of, all right, I'm playing the Scholar card, but you know where the word monster comes from. So I think this is relevant here.
Go on.
It's from Latin, monstrum, and it means an omen.
Right.
In ancient classical mythology, about all those Greek myths you've read, those monsters weren't just villains. The idea of monsters appeared when the balance of the world was upset. The appearance and creation of a monster was a sign that things had gone badly wrong. And I think kind of this monster in this movie is absolutely that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I take everything. I don't dismiss anything out of hand. I know I'm the doubting Thomas on this. So, you know, but
well, ask yourself this question: do you really want 80 minutes of a film of a man having a wank and eating quavers? Because that's what you'd have if it weren't for the monster. Okay.
See that
like a Thursday night to me.
I was going to say that's just me after I've cleaned my mirror, but not the quavers, mind you.
No, they're disgusting, aren't they?
Yeah, who fucking wants to eat quavers?
In America, it's Chibi Cheetos.
Yeah, cheapy Cheetos. Yeah, I'll be down with that.
Okay,
Cheetos. Orange
and
knob as well.
having a wank and eating Cheetos. Then.
Well,
all right,
you know.
fine.
For
our American audience,
wouldn't change much their orange.
It's him inside his foreskin.
Oh fuck!
It's gritty. It's gritty. It's a gritty wank. Yes,
I have
Doritos hot and spicy.
I have one question, which I couldn't quite work out. You know, when they're digging, he's digging a hole. She's turned back up. And he digs a hole and they're putting stuff in it. What are they putting in there?
The cat.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the cat in the bag?
Yeah.
Do you want to put that in there?
Oh, that's what. The toy that she. Oh, okay.
That's right.
Sorry,
She's got
really
the teaser for it. Yeah.
Took a bite out of his back.
Yeah, ate it like an apple.
I did like that at the beginning though, when he's like, he makes that angry call for 2 seconds. Oh, by the way, I think the monster ate your cat.
Yeah.
Fucking slams the phone down.
Well, the one bit that made me laugh, and I think that's probably the bit where I think it was a refreshing moment, was his dozy fucking mate.
Oh, I loved him. He was
drinking
great.
drinking the scraps off of the beer mat.
Oh,
Yeah.
What does it taste like? It tastes like I'm going blind.
I liked it when he'd gone out. They went out monster hunting with him.
Yeah. If something comes out of this bush, I'm gonna fucking shit myself. Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, like I say, it wasn't a bad film per se. It was just, I don't know. There was lots of it I liked, but I think I almost felt like if it was a hard-hitting sort of observation of a man sitting there eating quavers and having a wank, waiting for a month, waiting for his girlfriend to come back, I don't feel like I would have wasted as much time wondering about the monster.
Now we've spoken about it, I think I enjoy it a lot more. Just diving into it and seeing certain aspects. And yeah, I will definitely be revisiting this. Speaking to you guys, and it sometimes happens. I'll watch a movie and be like, didn't really get that, or didn't quite enjoy that, and then we have a bit of a giggle and a laugh about it and explain things, and it all suddenly clicks. And this, it clicked, and it was clicking on. It was really raw. Really, really raw, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm enjoying this. But now, I think now I see it as a movie instead of an experience. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. So yeah, I would definitely revisit this.
Yeah, cool. Any last thoughts, Jim? Because, like I say, I know we kind of sort of been running roughshod over it and talking about it. But do you have any extra thoughts or anything you want to bring up about it?
Not really. So I think it's a film you could just go round and round and
definitely
for a long time of picking up different bits and bobs. But I will say I thought there was some really, really clever writing. I mean, I really do like the kind of reveal scene because she says how she wanted to get away, and me and Teresa looked at her going, "Oh yeah, the grass is always greener." And things like, "You staff cow," because it's kind of, it's one of my bugbears. And I was looking at it from a very male perspective because a lot of men sort of I'm going to get out of this relationship. She's playing the field, and I'm there, going, I remember before you hooked up with her, you'd been single for 2 years. You know what I mean? You had a group with a barmaid and regretted it, and that was it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about playing the field like you're fucking Casanova and you've been held back. But then she drops the thing of kind of, I asked you to go. And you go, a different ball game. I take that back. What, you stupid prick? Why weren't you listening to her?
Yes.
A complete flip-flop. But I thought that was, there's lots of little moments in the movie. I think the dinner party scene's very good, and a lot of the conversations she has throughout the movie with the different people about what's happening and how they focus on different things that are going sort of wrong with him, and how they try to help in different ways. I think it's just really, it's really well played. There's lots of little things that sort of, let's say, profound and funny, but also it's also just off kilter because there's a monster in the background.
Yeah. Like I say, normally this sort of thing would be my bread and butter. I'd be all over it, but I don't know what it was that just didn't click. But there you go. Darren, any last thoughts?
No, I think I've said really all I wanted to say on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That's about it.
Cool. Yeah. Well, there you go. Quite a wide-ranging discussion over that one, I think. You'll agree. But have you seen it? What do you think about it? Do you want to leave us a message? Leave us a comment? If so, you know the usual places: Facebook, facebook.com/group/the Black Dog Podcast, or you can send us an email to feedback@blackdogpodcast. And that's that. So before we get to Pimp's Corner, and go on and find out what everyone else is doing outside of the Black Dog itself, let's find out what we will be doing in 2 weeks' time, because we will not be here next week for a number of reasons. 1, Darren's not around. 2, it's my mum's birthday. 3, I'm getting new internet on Friday, and everything's going to go tits up, because it always goes tits up when you get new internet.
It certainly does.
There you go. But I will have super duper whizzy fast internet next time. So we will be away next week. But when we come back, it is Elton's pick. So, Elton, what do you have for us when we return?
Well, I chose this film at the end of last year. I thought, no, this is the next one I'm going to be doing. Thinking it will be a super duper deep dive with one person going, oh no, I didn't like that, and the other going, oh yeah, I like it because of this and I like it because of this. But no, we had that this week, didn't we? So
so it's After Midnight 2 Electric Boogaloo, is it?
Looking back on it, it's not going to be that deep dive. But there are interesting characters in this movie, and it is called Landmine Goes Click.
When the landmine goes click.
No. Landmine Goes Click.
Landmine Goes Click. 2015 film.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I suggest don't look at any trailers or anything like that.
Nope. Okay.
Just go into it.
Okie dokie. I shall go in completely blank. And where will we find this?
This is on Amazon.
This is on Amazon.
I'm hoping it's on Amazon for the next 2 weeks, because we all know what happens.
Yes,
we do.
If it changes, we'll give you a special dispensation to pick a different one.
Nah, screw that. We'll just pirate it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. In which case, yes, we shall have a look at Landmine Goes Click.
Yep.
Which, just by Googling it, it says, Gruesome Magazine says, taut.
Toit.
Right.
Toit like a tiger.
I don't know.
Doit.
Taut.
Toit.
I don't know. Tortuga? I don't know. We're going to get Captain Jack Sparrow? What's going on? Anyway, right.
Has anyone seen this movie?
I've not even heard of this movie.
I was going to say, thanks for the format help there, Elton. Yeah, go on. Sorry, Jim.
So when you said, where can you find it? Well, you have to go to my Screen Man. You can rent it from him.
Yeah. Have you seen
the back of the van.
Have you even heard of this film? No.
Also does blueies for the dads.
£3. Fiver gets you 3. Jesus. No, I've never even heard of this. Hence the fact I corrected your title. When the landmine goes click, and it actually is not. It's just called Landmine Goes Click. Darren, have you heard of it?
Never. Landmine Goes Click.
I said no. No, I say. Okay.
I'm thinking of that meme of the two people standing in the two blokes standing in a car showroom. And one's the dealer and one's the other one, and the guy buying the car goes, cargo space? And the other one goes, cargo no space, cargo road.
Yeah, cargo road. Car no go space. Nice.
That's what that reminds me of.
Yes.
Landmine go click.
Landmine go click? No, my land go click.
Did you go plop plop?
Yeah. Righty ho. Well, let's wait and see how this turns out then. Landmine Goes Click on Amazon. We will be back in a fortnight to review it. Until then, there is other podcasts out in the podcastosphere, the podosphere, as they call it, I guess. Nobody's calling it that, are they? Nope. But let's find out what anyone else is doing to fill it in the podosphere that I've just named it. So, Jim, are you doing anything in the podosphere? I'm going to keep saying it like that until someone adopts it as an actual phrase.
You never know. This weekend, I had a new episode of Commentary Club where we're returning to watch the Young Ones. Watch the episode Bomb.
Nice.
I've got another 2 recorded that I need to edit. They'll go out at some point. And,
God, slow down, Jim. Jesus Christ, you're poorly.
Yeah, I've got a very, very, very short story to come out. I mean, really short, but it's just funny. I need to do music for that, and I might do a proper show this week, or I might not.
Yeah,
drugs permitting.
Yeah, maybe do one on drugs. Drugs in movies. While
I think
on
that's
drugs.
The last Commentary Club, actually. That's morphine and wine. He's not a Cliff Richard song.
I was going to say, I don't remember the kids' choir singing the backing to morphine and wine. But there you go.
I thought there was a double act on Sesame Street.
Singing satanic rhymes. There's a log on the flyer, and there's a so's Cliff. Anyway.
We all
Satan, you know.
Yeah, we all danced round his corpse while smoking spliff. Yeah. Anyway. Right, okay, so that's all over at hypnagoria.com.
It is.
The hardest working website known to man. So what about you, Elton? What's going on with you, sir?
Nothing. I haven't recorded a diddly squat at the moment, so
okay.
I was thinking about maybe doing something tomorrow, but we shall see. Yeah.
Cool.
Nothing just yet.
Okay.
That's why I'm telling Jim to slow down. He's poorly. Slow down.
So, Jim, you're going to be guesting on whatever it is he's coming up with. Is that what's going on?
Well, if you want to do a Shonky Lab on, I would like to find out you got cancer. I will do it.
Wow.
My first question, do you get to keep it?
Yeah. Do you get...
Only if you're unlucky.
Do you get to see it in a jar? Well, yes. Let's not go down that route just yet. Darren.
Yeah.
Are you going to promote nothing or something or everything?
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
That's it. I've been shunned by the podcasting community. So that's it.
Lovely.
That's all I've got to say on that.
That's all I've got to say on the matter. I will not be doing any more conversations or discussions about it at this time. Please respect my privacy.
Yeah, that's right. I'd rather not say. Yeah.
Yes, I'd rather not say.
Plead the fifth.
I'm currently mourning the loss of Ken Bruce and Popmaster. Please respect my privacy at this time. Yeah. Right, okay. For me, same deal. I'm not doing anything other than this podcast. I'm slowly trying to get back into doing 3D for pleasure as opposed to soul-sucking work. But, don't know yet. We'll see. I'll let you know. Maybe-ish. Anyway, and on that note, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton.
No problem.
And thank you again for you listeners out there for continuing to follow us and send your feedback into the usual places. And until next week, well, not next week, the week after next. Depends when you're listening to it. It could be tomorrow, as far as you're concerned. When we return for Landmine Go Click, then we'll see you soon. Until then, take care. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll want to settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.